We're going to go into our news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. Their office is located on 114th Street, just a couple blocks south of West Dodge Road. And they are open normal business hours, but you can also interact with them online. Either way, you want to talk to them if you're thinking about buying your next piece of the American dream. We are, of course, in February now, so this is that time of year when people are really starting to think, okay, I got to look for a house. We've been thinking about moving and got to look for a house. One of the first things you want to do is sit down with a mortgage broker at Eagle Mortgage. Keep in mind, they are not a bank. They're not beholden to a bank. They work with a variety of banks, so they match you with the best lending solution for you. And they really take the time to get to know you and figure out your unique situation before they match you up with the most ideal lender possible. Like I said, you can find them in person, 114th and Davenport, or online at eaglemortgagecompany.com. Well, starting off today, the Harney Street Bridge over Interstate 480 is now closed, and it will remain closed for about a year. It'll open late this year when it is completely rebuilt. Kind of needed to have it anyway, as it was over 60 years old, but what sped it up is the streetcar project. Very exciting, Trenton, because this is one of the first visible signs that we are really getting close to construction, and getting these bridges started means that it's not that far away before we actually start to see tracks laid in concrete.
Part of it they delayed for a week. I'm not sure which part it was. And then I want people to know that the property I've listed at 2909, the EB & Sons Painting Building on the south side, right by the on-ramp, is still for sale. 4,000 square feet right by the church. Easy access, drive door, some office space. Nice little building for anybody that has a business or wants a little investment. So give Trenton a call for that one. Go ahead, Jeff.
For clarification, they did delay the actual start of the work, but it is still closed. It is already closed. And that's just Harney Street. Next year, 2026, they'll do Farnham Street, because the streetcar will go westbound on Farnham and eastbound on Harney. So in 2 years, we'll have two new bridges there, but only one closure per year. All right, moving right along, Omaha's office to residential conversion pipeline ranks near the top of America's largest real estate markets, this according to Rent Cafe. So they did a report on adaptive reuse of office space, and it showed that Omaha's gross number of office to apartment conversion units in the 2025 pipeline ranks 16th out of all of the major cities in the country, with almost 1,300 units in place. So this would include projects like the FNBO main bank building and the Duo, and then some smaller projects as well. New Style Development is the company behind most of those units, and they, of course, are doing both the Duo and the FNBA main bank building. Nationally, the 2025 pipeline will be record-breaking with 70,000 apartment units created out of former office space. Omaha right in play there at number 16. So basically what that tells you is we've got more office unit to apartment unit redevelopment activity going on than most of the cities that are bigger than us.
Totally understandable, Jeff. And I wonder if they exclude, I know what the title says, but I wonder if they exclude industrial, old multi-story industrial buildings, because a lot of those are easier to convert because they're larger open spaces. Sometimes office buildings might have a lot more columns, might have different uses. So in any event, it's totally understandable. There is a big question mark in the office market where a lot of people think that the work from home, the work out of a cafe or whatever is here to stay. So it's not going back to 2019 levels. And so there's a lot of people that aren't going to wait to find out what happens or how people are going to get back to the office. So they've just accepted it, and they're saying, okay, we have shortage of apartments, we have shortage of condos. We're going to do some adaptive reuses and hope for the best.
I'm pretty sure it does not include those old brick warehouses to which you referred. It is truly office building. And we're fortunate in Omaha that a lot of our office buildings that are no longer considered cutting edge for office use actually lend themselves well to retail conversion. Like if you look at the Duo Towers, they're more rectangular than square.
Exactly.
Same thing with the old FNBO main bank building at 1620 Dodge, more rectangular than square. If you had, let's say you had an office building with a full square block floor plate, I don't think you could do that. You couldn't turn those into apartments.
Sometimes you'll see, they'll do like a interior, kind of like the UP square, where you'd have
an atrium,
big atrium in the middle of it, and then interior hallways that kind of exposed.
Yeah, because I know they were saying like in New York City, a lot of those office buildings have such big floor plates that they can't really convert them into apartments, and a lot of them will just be torn down.
Apartments have to have windows, whether they open or not, I believe.
So Eppley Airfield broke its all-time passenger record last year. We've already reported that. And if you don't recall, it was almost 5.28 million passengers went through the Eppley terminal last year. And so I'm sure a lot of people are saying, hey, that's cool. Broke their all-time record. We like seeing that. We thought it might be interesting to share with Omaha listeners how that compares to some other medium-sized metro areas like Omaha. And so we put together a list of several mid-sized metros whose airports had less traffic than Omaha's did in 2024. So keep in mind, Omaha, 5.28 million. How does that compare? Buffalo, New York, less than Omaha.
No way.
5 million. Memphis, 4.9 million.
Yes.
Memphis has probably, 300,000 or 400,000 more people than the Omaha metropolitan area, and it does. Buffalo, New York metro has about 200,000 more people than Omaha. So both of those trailing. Louisville, bigger than Omaha, but fewer passengers at 4.8 million. Reno, Nevada, 4.8 million. Oklahoma City, quite a bit bigger than Omaha, but only 4.6 million passengers. Grand Rapids, Michigan, just a smidge bigger than Omaha, very, very close, 4.17 million. Tulsa, right about Omaha size, maybe just a smidge bigger, only 3.25 million. We were way more traffic than nearby Des Moines, Iowa, which only had 3.18 million, and Wichita, Kansas, less than 2 million.
Okay. So, are those people that are visiting Omaha, or those Omahans that are getting the heck out of here during the winter and coming back? Do they break it down on whether it's visitors to Omaha or people from Omaha leaving and coming back?
Well, both of those are factored into every airport.
Right, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, Omaha, of course, Omahans have a lot of disposable income, so they do travel and do vacation at a respectable rate. My guess would be higher than the average metro area. But you also have to keep in mind, too, that for its size, Omaha has a shocking number of corporate headquarters.
Right.
So you get a lot of business traffic into the city for that. We also, and we're going to report on this later in the show when we talk about tourism numbers last year, a lot of conventions and youth sports traffic coming into Omaha as well.
Yeah, I don't want to be a negative Ned because we're pro-Omaha, but at the same time, it's interesting. And obviously we want to increase the visits to Omaha, bring the money here for tourists and business and all kinds of things, rather than just flying out, spending money, and coming back.
Well, and you can make the argument that we like both, because if Omahans are flying out a lot, it's a good sign that there's a lot of disposable income, and I think it's good for the populace of a city to be well traveled, and I think Omaha people are well traveled, partly because we live in the center of the country, and partly because our cost of living is low enough that people here can afford to travel.
And we get ideas for our built environment as well.
Amen. Well, speaking of how Omaha stacks up, the city ranks number 8 among the nation's top cities for growth in cybersecurity employment, also in the growth of wages. This is according to an organization called Upwind, which examined 44 U.S. cities that are known for a lot of cybersecurity presence. And they looked at growth from 22 to 2023. Omaha had a 10.6% increase in wages during that year and a 5.8% increase in employment. That put us at number 8. Like I said, the top 5 were Indianapolis, Raleigh, North Carolina, Cleveland, Kansas City, and San Francisco. I almost said Sacramento, but it was San Francisco. And finally, we've got a cool piece of news related to architecture and design. The iconic St. Cecilia Cathedral has started a campaign to construct a new outdoor plaza and memorial garden right outside the cathedral's doors. This, according to the Catholic Voice. It'll be an $8.2 million project. And here's something really cool about it. It fulfills the original vision of famous Omaha architect and designer Thomas Kimball, who designed the cathedral and died in 1934 and didn't even get to see the cathedral finished. And the gardens and the plaza that he had part of it are still not finished.
So it's his designs, and now it's finally getting finished.
Yeah, Leo A. Daly is doing the final design for modern, but it's all based on Thomas Kimball's vision. And for those of you that are not big Omaha history aficionados, many, many, many of the great Omaha buildings in history were designed by Thomas Kimball.
John Latenzer, others.
Yeah, great. We had some great architects in those early days.
If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.